Welcome back, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Styles After Dark. Of course, it's Wednesday. I'm recording this on Tuesday. I'm gonna get this up and running. This episode is long overdue. There's been so many people that have wanted me to do an episode like this, people in my personal life, friends, family, because if it's one thing I'm gonna be confident about, it's gonna be dreams and passion and career and doing things that you love. I would say I'm a very big person when it comes to timing, and I just didn't feel it in my heart. I didn't feel it in my heart to drop this kind of episode yet. It just wasn't the right time. Before I start getting carried away, because I already am, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome to Styles After Dark. And, I like to say that this is a podcast where I want people to feel seen, people to feel heard, and to be accepted. And hopefully that you can learn a thing or two by listening to any of my episodes. So this past week, I had went to New York for the very first time. And this is a big deal because my whole life I have dreamt of New York. And I don't know if there's anyone listening who might feel the same way about New York, but to me, I'm a city girl. I love everything about the city, about the rushing. People are like, oh my gosh, New York is so fast paced. There's so much traffic. You have to walk everywhere. It's just so busy, blah, blah, blah. But I love everything about that. If you know me and you know who I am, you know I am all over the place. I'm always rushing. I'm always doing things fast and go, go, go mode. So I feel like somewhere like New York, I've just been waiting to go to my whole life so that I can experience an environment where I thrive. And on top of that, if you guys haven't already noticed, if you've been listening for a long time or if you follow me on socials, I am a huge girly for fashion. I love clothes, and I have my mama to thank for that because she was a shopaholic, fashionista at my age and beyond her years. And as we know, New York is huge on fashion, and that was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to go. And the reason I bring this up is because today's episode is going to be about dreams, following your dreams, pushing yourself to be the best you can be, and doing things that you love, going for what you want to in life. And, we only live once, and it's cheesy, I know, but that's why I'm so passionate about it, because we only have one life and we should not be out here wasting it just like day by day, thinking of the things that we could possibly do and just waiting for it to happen one day. And one thing before you know it, it's just too late. And I don't think it's ever too late, whether you're 18 years old and barely starting, or if you're 50 years old, been married, have kids. Like, I truly believe that it's never too late, but the sooner the better. Am I right? Oh, am I wrong? But before we get into this, I want to do the drink of the week real quick. If you want to skip forward like 30 seconds to a minute, but this is a tradition here. Today's drink of the week, we are going to Olipop. The flavor for the drink of the week is strawberry vanilla. That was the weirdest experience of my life. Not to be dramatic, but let's be dramatic. I swear that tasted like grape soda. That is not strawberry vanilla. I was going to have a whole other episode planned for you guys, but when I got into New York, I felt this drive and this passion of inspiration, so much creativity in this environment that I'm ready to go back home and just share it all. I got to experience the trip with two of my bestest friends. It was three of us, my friends Lindsay and Alexis, and they're very similar to me. We are all into like content, TikTok, Instagram. We all love fashion. We all were on the same page. It was just so go with the flow. We all were yes mans. It made the trip even better. As I was there, I was just soaking up what I was seeing, and that's like art. We were going to museums, culture. There's so much diversity in New York. I was soaking up the fashion of it. And one thing about me is I know that I want to live in New York for at least 1 year. and being there for the first time, and I guess living in it for a week, it truly it gave me so much drive and inspiration to just keep going and making sure that I don't forget the things that I want to do in life and the things I want to hold myself up to. I'd like to think that we all have dreams, goals, ambitions, things we want to accomplish in life, things that we dream of. I am a huge daydreamer. I swear I'm always dreaming. And I don't know, maybe that's the difference between a creative and like a normal person. I don't know. But my mind is always thinking about the next thing. Do you guys ever like envision yourself and 10 years from now, where you'll be? What would it be if this happened? And if you actually made it to where you wanted, the goals you have for yourself. And I feel like the biggest thing I want to emphasize, because there's always something I need to emphasize, okay? The biggest thing I want to highlight is that can be done. I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to fly in the sky, but something based off of career, something that's obviously humanely possible, like becoming a singer, working on Broadway, becoming a doctor, starting your own business. Maybe you want to open up a restaurant. Maybe you're a little American and you're like, one day I want to live in Europe. And that can be really hard depending on where you are in life to get up and just move to a whole other country. But maybe it's a dream of yours to live there for 5 years. I don't know. I know I have my dreams. Life is a big road of bumps and cracks and hills and going down hills and just going on a flat road. So I think it's important for me enjoying the journey, I guess. One of the biggest things I have to share with you guys is where it all started. And for me, it all started right after high school when I didn't get to go to my first semester of college. I want to share with you guys the start of it all. And that is going to hair school. When it comes to dreams and when it comes to starting something new, we all know starting something new is hard. The thing is that it can be hard not for just 1 month, 4 months, 6 months, 2 years, 5 years. Sometimes you're chasing your dreams and you're chasing your career for 10 years and you're going after that thing you want in life for so long. And there's all these obstacles and all these battles that you have to fight through. But I've noticed a pattern. It sucks because I've seen people give up right then and there because it didn't come instantly. It wasn't given to them instantly. And I have to say, you guys, that's just not how it works. And for some people, it is. For some people, it comes faster than others, but we are all at our different paths in life. I think we're all gonna reference the Catch Me Outside girl because that girl is literally so famous, has millions of followers, and makes a bunch of money off of just one video. For some people, it just happens, but we can't compare ourselves. I was 18 when I graduated high school. Obviously, Sofia, no shoot. My immediate family, everyone came here from Mexico. My parents didn't go to college. None of my aunts, none of my uncles had ever graduated college or anything like that. So in my household, I would say it was one of my dreams to go to college, graduate college, get a degree, and make my family very proud. But my life and God had other plans for me. So I remember I was working at Topshop. I don't know if you guys know that store, but it was a retail clothing store, super hip. I always say it was like a mix of Zara and Urban Outfitters. And I was working there with my best friend. His name is Nick. It's kind of a long story, but basically, I love my mom. Shout out to her. She had told me she was gonna help me out. She was like, "Girl, I got you. Like, I got you with the courses. I'll pay for your first semester. Blah blah blah." Not to throw my mom under the bus, but she's a lacker. And with college, you can't lack, okay? She was trying to pay late, and I remember I had an appointment with the counselor. We went over classes that I was gonna take. Y'all, I was walking to the cashier at the college to go pay. I'm talking 30 seconds max. She goes, "Okay, we just picked your classes. Walk over the cashier. It's right there, just across the room, y'all." I walk up to that lady. I'm like, hi, I just got done with the counselor's office. Can I pay for my classes? It should be in the system, blah, blah, blah. And she looks at me and she's like, oh, I can't find you. Can't find anything. I don't remember like how it worked, whatever. And I was like, well, I was just there. And she was like, yeah, I don't see anything. Like, there's no classes. So I can't have you pay. And I was like, what? She was like, oh, you just got dropped. And I was like, what do you mean I got dropped? Like, I literally was just at the counselor's office. And she goes, well, yeah, the thing is because you hadn't paid yet, you weren't secured in the classes. And with the time of you walking to the counselor's office to here, you got dropped from the classes because they filled up within that time. And I was like, what do you mean? I was just there 30 seconds ago. How do they, like, how can people sign up for the class within those 30 seconds and now I don't have classes for the semester? Thinking of that now, that is insane. But after that day, you know how depressed I was? You know how much of a failure I was because I was hearing things from everyone saying, oh, half the people are like 70%. People were giving me crazy percentages. Don't go back to college after missing their first semester. And if you miss your first semester, you're probably not going to do anything with your life. And people were just throwing me things. And I felt like a loser. I felt like a failure. And I know that's silly. I know that is. And I'm not saying if you miss your first semester, second semester, don't go to college, you're a loser. I definitely don't believe that because I didn't end up going at all. In this story, I was so scared because I'm 18 years old. All my friends are going to college. They're starting and now I feel behind. Now I feel like I'm becoming like everyone in my family who never went to college. And I'm not going to make my parents proud and I'm not going to make my family proud and oh no, right? Boohoo me. So I start getting depressed. I'm at work feeling like, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing with my life?" When one day my best friend Nick, and I always thank him for this. He was just like, we were talking, having normal conversations because he was my manager at the time. And he goes, I don't know like why you're even stressed about going to college. I always thought that you would be in like the beauty industry. I always envisioned you to do something like a cosmetologist or like doing hair, like something beauty wise. I looked at him and I was like, huh, I guess I just like never thought of that. Like a hairstylist, like going to cosmetology school. When it came to anything about beauty, whatever it is, he knows it. I was like, Paul Mitchell, I've never heard of it. Okay, like I'm gonna look it up when I go home. But when he said it, I remember being like, oh my gosh, you're right. Why don't I become a hairstylist? Why don't I go into the beauty industry? And it was like something got answered, something just clicked. And I felt like I've never been so sure about anything in my life when he told me that. And I guess it's just because I never was surrounded by anyone who had interest in that. It just wasn't a thing. People didn't go to cosmetology school. People didn't in my family didn't talk about that. And I didn't even know it was an option. So I never thought about it. But prior to that, I had a YouTube channel that I was obsessed with. That I would do my makeup and I would do vlogs and I would do like hair tutorials. And it very much was me coded. Okay. Go home. I tell my mom it's so exciting and she's super supportive. Unfortunately, dad was kind of upset at the time because he was like, where is this coming from? What are you doing with your life? You need to go to college. No, you're not doing that. I was like, Dad, why won't you do this? Like, why are you like this? Why won't you support me? Blah, blah, this stuff, right? Drama. There was people who doubted me on the way. There are going to be people who doubt you and it might be your parents. Sometimes it's because they want the best for you and they think they know what's best for you. But you still got to do what you feel in your heart because that seed was planted for a reason. If you have something that that pops up in your brain, if you see a little vision in your head, maybe one day I'll do this. Don't quiet it down. Don't you dare say, "Oh, that's just a thought." There's a reason it's popping up and you might not know how to get there. You might not know what step to take, but life is about trial and error. And life is about putting yourself in those situations and trying things out and just going for it. If you don't try, how will you know? You can't play life safe. You can't play life for safe doing what others want you to do. My dad, like, I love him and he's very supportive now. And this isn't to bash him at all, but like, he did not want me to go. And if I would have listened to him, because I have people who sit in my chair who are young people, and I've had friends who just go to college and do something because that's what's going to make their parents happy. And in the end, I can tell you that they're not happy. They're miserable. They're not even doing something that they're really truly passionate about. I don't know. I'm not here to control anyone's life, but I just want people to be happy and live their life for them, not for others, following your dreams, not your mom's, not your dad's, not what your friends think you should do, or what society says you should do, or your corporate job says you should do. After I start hair school, you guys, I was 19 years old. I was so low confidence. I was so insecure. I had high anxiety. I had never gotten out of my comfort zone. This was probably like my first time truly experiencing something this big and new. I'm not gonna lie, people made fun of me in hair school. People were so mean. Girls, there was definitely people talking about me, talking about how insecure, how low confidence I was. There was people who would look at me and think how I wouldn't even make it, how I wouldn't even graduate, how I wouldn't ever do good hair. And you know what I have to say now? Look where I'm at, baby. Look where I'm at. And you want to know why? It's because I never gave up. People give up as soon as it doesn't come easy. And as soon as you're bad at something, you drop it. And you're like, this isn't for me. But that's the thing. No one ever starts something new and they're immediately great at it. And especially something like art, especially something like hair. Even though I knew how to braid my hair, even though I knew how to grab a comb and part my hair, when I got a doll mannequin in hair school, guess who was struggling to section hair into 4 parts, just 4 clips in the hair? How easy. But because of my overthinking, I had so much anxiety because I was already doubting myself, already telling myself I wasn't good enough. Or especially if you aren't the most confident person, you can sometimes already self sabotage yourself. Not even just in relationships, but in something you love, and you get in your head and you have doubts and you drive yourself out of your passions. I was doing that, but something in my heart, maybe it's the way I was raised, maybe it's the way fortunately saw my mother not giving up. I fortunately, I thank God I had a mother, because I know not everyone has this, but I thank God that I had the privilege to see my mother who never gave up on her dreams. And I'm going to get emotional, but I'm not. We got to keep going. Even though I was downing myself at the time, even though I didn't believe in myself, for some reason I kept going. I'm not trying to tell someone what their life is, what their experiences are, because I don't know you. I don't know who you are. But a lot of the things we've seen growing up, a lot of the experiences we've had have shaped our habits, have shaped our way of thinking, have shaped our ambition, our ability to keep going, our work ethics. At that point in my life, I was my biggest hater, probably. And because of that, other people probably saw that they could hate on me too. I would go home and be like, I hate doing hair. I suck at hair. I'm not good at this. I would fuck up people's hair. I would go home and tell myself like, ugh, like I'm just not meant for this. I'm not gonna eat my own ass, but I would say I'm pretty damn good at my job now. And I would say 5 years later, if I had given up just because I messed up 500 times, I wouldn't be where I am today. If you're listening to this and you're listening to this for a reason, you need to understand that is a part of the process. That is a part of following your dreams. You are going to mess up over and over and over again, and you're going to make mistakes. And it is important to fail forward. I love that saying. I don't know where I heard it, but it's said a lot in the beauty industry. I can't remember the first time I heard it, but I remember it was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Maybe it was a class I took from one of my inspirations, Daniel and Beauty. And I think maybe he had said how, like, you have to fail forward. After you fail, after you make a mistake, you can't assume that means it's done right there, that means you're not good enough, that means that this career isn't for you, that means you weren't fit for it, whatever that thing is. You have to change your mindset and understand that you have to take that thing that you just messed up, that you just failed in. How am I going to be better? How am I going to learn from this? And that's with anything and everything in life. It's like you're getting a door shut in front of you over and over again. Maybe you're not strong minded, but that builds resilience. When you fail forward and you keep putting yourself in these very uncomfortable positions, in these new environments, you are going to thrive more and more slowly and slowly and continue to evolve, and it gets better. And that is how people become more successful. That is how people become so strong. We have to learn to make failure our best friend and understand that failure is a opportunity for learning, becoming better at something, whatever it is. I think another big thing when you're starting out your dream, starting out your career, something new that I really want to talk about, a lot of us don't want to sacrifice. I noticed that a lot with my generation too. It's like we all just don't want to work and put in the work, and called me old school, but I lived that. I got ahead, and I think in the salon, this isn't normal. This isn't typical. I started to assist straight out of hair school. And typically an assistant goes on their own after a year, but I was ready to go on my own after 6 months. And I would even say less than that, because when I started, COVID happened. I started in January and then COVID happened. We came back in May. So I got 2 months off. Everything was shut down for 2 months. I remember I was so busy. I was pulling out content. I was making content because I was so passionate about it. I wasn't about to play around, and we can't play around. We can't be out here having the best of both worlds, okay? This happens with the best of the best. The best of the best don't get any off days. The best of the best aren't out here having a balanced life. Like, yes, it's important. Balance is important. Don't get me wrong. I know I have to think before I speak, but I will say there's going to be a time when you're following your dreams that you need to hustle. You need to sacrifice some things. And some of those things are probably going to be like no partying, sometimes not seeing your family, like sacrifices, okay? If you're young, no partying, no traveling all over the world, spending your money on crazy stuff, going to concerts, living life. I sacrificed for 2 years. You can ask my friends. I was not partying. I was locked in, tunnel vision, freaking, I got to do this. Like, especially in hair school, I was locked in. Ain't nobody about to be up in here. Like, I was not playing. When I first started assisting, I worked 7 days a week. Okay, you guys, for like 6 months. I was assisting the girl that I had for 5 days a week, like Monday through Friday. I think Thursdays and some Sundays, I was able to take my own clients. And then on top of it, I was bussing tables and working at a restaurant Saturdays and Sundays. So I would work with the girl, assist her from like 9 to 4 p.m. Then I would go to my busing job at 5 p.m., work till like midnight. Then after that, I would work on Sunday, take my clients, post the content, be so driven, stay up, editing videos. Then I would try and finish my client by like 4 p.m. and then go Sunday to my busing job. Monday, start assisting. And girl, the girl I assisted, she was having me work early, like 8 to 8 p.m. sometimes, okay? Like, we was hustling, we were working. I did that, and that was a sacrifice, and I got no mental health days. Was I struggling? Yes, but I had a dream and I had tunnel vision. I not saying everyone has to do this, but if you really want it, if you really want to make it work, if you really want a goal, if you're really passionate about something, you are going to put your all into it, and you're going to have to make the sacrifices. Those sacrifices are going to look different for everyone. You might have kids and be a single mom, and you might be working 3 different jobs trying to pay for daycare so that you can one day give your kids the world. If you're 18, 21, 22, no responsibilities, what is stopping you? If you're 24 and you don't got kids, what is stopping you? People who play it safe, They don't get anywhere. Shoot, maybe they do. You know what? You're right. Everyone's different. I take that back. We're backtracking. I get ahead of myself. Don't quote me on that, all right? I'm getting crazy. I'm getting passionate. The drive, the passion, it's fuming in me. So don't come at me. Closed mouths do not get fed. And there have been times where I had opportunities and I didn't take them because I was too scared. But now, no, no, no. And you have to be open. You have to be open for those opportunities. And sometimes you're going to have to listen to your gut when it's not the right time. There are things that I've had to really ask myself, like, okay, is this the time? And no, not because I was scared. There's a difference. There's a difference between being like, oh, I don't know, like, what if this and what if that, or I can't do it, I can't make it. No, not talking about that. I'm talking about like, this is sketchy. I feel it in my heart. I could do it. It's not out of fear. It's more out of like like being ethical. If you're starting your career, if you want to start a business, you got to have passion. You cannot half-ass your dreams. You got to be all in, baby. Have y'all ever watched The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith? That movie gets to me every single time because no matter what, like he just couldn't sell that little freaking machine thing. That the whole movie, like so many obstacles, and all he wanted to do was provide for his kid. All he wanted to do was someone to believe in him. But guess what? You need to believe in yourself. Don't expect anyone else to do that for you. Don't expect other people to believe in you because it might not come right now. You might not believe in yourself, but you got to fake it till you make it. You might be insecure. You might have doubts. We all do. Imposter syndrome is real. So, what are some things to help keep you inspired and driven? For me, I would say a few things that kept me inspired. I would say like podcast, people who talk about failing, people who like Jay Shetty, I love listening to him. Call Her Daddy, I love. Those are my top two, and honestly, the only ones I frequently listen to because Jay Shetty is a huge inspiration to me. He has helped me so much when it comes to positive thinking, when it comes to listening to people who are so big and sharing their stories and how they got to where they were, reading books that help give you the push and help keep that inspiration there. Also, finding the people who inspire you. Like, who's your inspiration? I have people who I look up to and I'm like, wow, like, badass. They're freaking badass. I want to be like them. I mean, I don't want to be them, but shoot, I hope I'm a badass like them. I think it's important to have people that you look up to keep you in a state of one day I'll be there. One day I'm not stopping till I get there. If they can do it, I can do it. Don't underestimate the abilities that you have to make it happen. You can make it happen. You're the only person who's going to get in your own way. I think that wraps it up. If it's one thing about me, I'm going to push the people to be them best selves and the people around me and the people I love and the people I care about. And I'm sure I missed some things, or maybe I didn't. I feel like I got it all out, but I am very passionate when it comes to dreams. And I don't know if you guys could hear it in my voice, but this might be one of my favorite episodes that I've recorded. And I had so much so much fun talking about it. I really appreciate you guys for listening. And I really hope that this helps motivate you. I really hope this pushes you to go after what you want. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Just remember, I upload every other Wednesday. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I'll post all my social links down in the description below. My personal Instagram, my TikTok, and my Styles After Dark page so that you guys can keep up with the latest. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Remember to be kind. Remember to be yourself. Bye. Thanks for listening.